women's and bring the positive changes for women, and that's why.
And on. The battle is endless. And I mean, at some stage, I think when we talk about laws, then we should see if there's enough provision everywhere else around to be able to accept us as we are.
And you linked sexual harassment, though, to a power structure.
Yes. So as a man, you've only been seeing women giving you space because that's your entitlement. You have that right to space, and if you see someone walking in your space, you will shoo them away. So when in a workspace, you shoo a woman, or you say that, you know, she's trying to be extremely aggressive and that's why she's working, whereas as a man, I'm very kind and accommodative, or as a male boss, I'm very accommodative. But again, if you see her shine, you want to get her out of the way. So this whole element of harassment and discrimination and everything comes from the thought that this is my world. Who else is coming and occupying it? Why does she belong here? I've not seen it at home. She belongs to the home. She belongs to the kitchen. She belongs to being that person who, I mean, this gentleman who came and served us coffee, I honestly didn't even look at him. So, I mean, I was very engrossed today. I thanked him, but I didn't see him. But that's how women are all the time. So they provide for you, but you don't have to acknowledge it. And so today you have this lady standing in front of you, driving a car and going fast, actually overtaking you. You should see the way the auto rickshaw drivers treat you. You should see the way the bus drivers treat you, because you've taken their space. And so they come really close, they honk. I mean, this is my space. What are you doing here? You have to be at home, you woman.
That women, I think all over the world, there are questions that are common ground and yet not common ground, because as Donna tells you about the dowry, about the violence in India, the violence takes different forms, but the violence is there. Yesterday I was listening to the Golden Global, whatever, those awards of the film. And there was Oprah Winfrey, and she gave a wonderful talk. Really, she was really wonderful. She was superb, really. She said, excuse me, she said that the time for Me Too has passed. A new time has come, and a new day is beginning. And I feel this when I see young people like you around me. I think that's true, because there you are working in different places, and Donna and all of us here in Vimochana are working differently, that what we have to do today is to find ways in which we can network and mesh work and really work with each other. It's not different situations we are talking about. We are talking about, when you talk in terms of dowry burning, yes, but when you go to the Arab world, you hear of honor crimes. When you go to Africa, you hear of female genital mutilation. So there's all kinds of crimes all over. When you think of the US, you think of rape, you think of all this kind of thing that has happened about sexual harassment now, which is becoming quite taken up by the social media. So I think that there are many things we have in common. And that's what I want to say today, is that, you know, and this you'll find, this is where we are a little, you know, maybe it's not so much the way that you will look at it, but this is how we see it here in what I call the, what was called at least the Global South. No more can we talk in terms of Global South and Global North.
India was formed in the midst of a lot of strife in what was called the partition, where the country split into East and West Pakistan. One of the parts which you have recently visited, that is Bangladesh. So Bangladesh and Pakistan had Muslim majority populations and they split. And India began her life as a secular country, and we needed to reassure all minorities living in India, not just Muslims but others, Christians, tribals, that their community lives would not be interfered with. And to do that, we had to make a promise that their family laws wouldn't change, because family laws are something that are intrinsic to many communities. So because of that, the Constitution has an equal family law in a provision which is called the Uniform Civil Code provision in Article 44 in a different part of the Constitution, which is called the Directive Principles of State Policy. And in that part, we see that is not an enforceable part, that's not a justiciable part. You can't go to the court and say, I want my right to a uniform civil code. We also see that other issues dealing with women were in that part, like just and humane conditions of work, were a directive principle of state policy. However, courts, through a series of interpretations later, it said that something like a minimum wage cannot be a directive principle because it's so intrinsically linked to your fundamental rights, your right to life. And so many parts of the directive principles, especially dealing with labor, with maternity benefit, with minimum wage, with better conditions of work, slowly became part of fundamental rights and part of legislation. But the entire private sphere of women, which deals with family law, still continues to be largely unchanged.
some of the women working here are employed not because we needed more people, but they so badly needed the work that I just said, okay, get on board and we will get more markets than we will. We are rather squeezed in the premises now. Thank you. We have to build more because we are too many in too little space. But they are amazing and very adaptable. And when it comes to the Indian women, I can only praise their possibility to work together. Although it's not black and white, and women are not better than men. They are different, and they are abused, and they are the lowest on the hierarchy. But I stop to say women are better than men. I would say I rather employ women than men in this particular place because they are hardworking and they're loyal and they do everything for the children. Whereas if I would employ men, they would be likely to become alcoholics in this particular area. It's a lot of alcohol. And they would not put their children first. That means they will put themselves first. That means that they wouldn't maybe value the work so much that give them the income to take care of the children. So naturally, it's much better to employ women here.
Where the family did not have to take care of their lunches and breakfast. And that's when we realized that we need to work in a very holistic way by bringing the families into the picture. And again, it was very challenging for us because the fathers were never there. We tried to work with them a lot, but the problem with alcoholism in Pali is huge, it's immense. So we started identifying women, mothers especially, who could work with us, and that proved to be extremely, how do I say, it was wonderful to see the kind of proactiveness that these women showed. And we realized that we need to work alongside with them to start an economic empowerment program for women.